saying this just because I think everyone has seen this to a certain level, to a certain extent. But my belief and my feeling and what I've seen is creativity is gone from children. It's gone from children. And it's gone from a lot of adults on that matter. And I'm blaming primarily electronics. Electronics for this. Yes, electronics can be great. Electronics can be a great tool. But when lives are ran around electronics and lives are based and glued to electronics, that's what lives become. Why am I saying this? Well, it just harms me, it hurts me, I guess, and bums me out to see children on their phones all the time, or their parents' phone, and as young as you can think to as old as you can think, doing this. And I don't really see children, or even teenagers, that kind of stuff, doing those kind of hands-on activities, those hands-on creativity, things that I feel is needed for development, it's needed for growth, that kind of stuff. It's needed for brain activity. And what am I saying here? I'm saying stuff like drawing, painting, even chalk on the sidewalk, and then painting hopscotch, or whatever you want to do with that kind of stuff. Just being creative with it. I remember when I was younger, I did these creating treasure maps, used to call them. So I'd take some white paper. It was a little thicker than your average paper, a thicker printer paper type deal, and I would draw sort of like map on it, with an X marks the spot kind of deal, with some terrain, that kind of stuff, and some hints. But then I would take and I would stain it and get it dirty and rub it in dirt and try to get anything else that would stain it yellowish or a brown tinge, a gray tinge, that kind of stuff. I would wrinkle them up a lot and unfold them and wrinkle them and roll them up and unfold them and then tear a little bit on the edges, that kind of stuff. So they looked like an old treasure map that I would have some of my younger cousins or that kind of stuff, or children, look at it and then try to make a game of it. Try to do it out in the yard or do it in the park, that kind of stuff, and then bury something for them to look for, that kind of deal. And I don't see that kind of creativity really from children anymore. So that's why I'm still sort of going over this and just giving that little example of a story that popped in my head. And that got me thinking of Hot Wheels and making dirt tracks. So Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars, whatever. I remember getting together with a group of kids. It was maybe 3 or 4 of us together, and you would take tools or sticks or whatever it was, butter knives from the house, and you would carve out these kind of tracks in the dirt, and build like a garage system, that kind of stuff. And then you would, do this for hours and hours, and maybe even swap some Hot Wheels here and there with some of your friends, that kind of deal. And it was entertaining but creative at the same time, and there was some sort of problem solving to it. So I think it would give your brain that kind of exercise and that kind of preparedness to problem solve larger issues as you grew. And I don't see that anymore. You could say, oh yeah, you could do it in video games, but it's really not the same. If it's all digital, it's not the same as being real reality. Even bicycles and jumps. I remember making jumps with bicycles. Exploring the neighborhood on bicycles, or exploring the neighborhood doing whatever else. Tag with kids in the neighborhood, get together for that. Freeze tag, TV tag, ghost in the graveyard type of stuff. I remember chemistry sets and do chemistry experimentations. And we used to have a few of us, 2 or 3 of us, to get together at my parents' house or their parents' house, that kind of stuff, and do this kind of stuff. And it was fun, entertaining, but at the same time it was very educational, because you had to figure out things that you didn't know, no one was telling you. You discovered stuff. Building forts, tree houses, that kind of deal. I don't see that really anymore either. I see some parents doing that for their kids, but I don't see the kids doing it really themselves anymore. Baking, cooking, that kind of stuff. Food experiments. Easy Bake Oven comes to mind. Yeah, I did some of that stuff too. Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't see this anymore. It's it's part of life. It's skills that you're going to need as you get older. But it's gone. I mean, it's all digits nowadays. It's none of that anymore. People, it's part of the you'll own nothing and be happy mentality. So if you don't own anything, you can't do a lot. You don't know a lot. You can't do a lot for yourself. Hence, I need someone else to do this for me. So please help me, Mother Government, or help me, Father Government. Type of deal. That mentality, that's there already, and it's been there for a long time, but it's going to become even worse. My fear is that it becomes, across the board, and it's expected. And then once it's expected, it will be given, but it'll be given less and less and less until you obey and do what I say, type of deal. Scavenger hunts. I remember that in neighborhoods too. You throughout the neighborhood, you go to scavenger hunts. Meet some neighbors when you're doing your scavenger hunt, because you might have to knock on doors and talk to people. Or even if you're going on a weekend sort of camping thing with campers or tents, you could do it on that whole camping place, wherever it is you're camping, on a river or a setup, they have a camping establishment, that kind of stuff. You can do that, and people will be more than happy to help, usually. And I got to get a toothpick, or I got to get a couple of toothpicks, or I need to find this, or I need a piece of tinfoil, or whatever was on the scavenger hunt. You had to do it. You had to go figure out how you're going to get it, to get the stuff in the scavenger hunt. And yeah, it was another life skill on a low level being learned of how to approach people, talk to people, that kind of stuff, introduce yourself type of deal, and let them know what you're doing. And yeah, you were a kid, but it still matters. It still absolutely builds character and builds that within somebody. Even jumping rope. I don't see people jumping rope. I could see, usually it was groups of girls doing it, but sometimes a boy or two would be there sharing jumping rope type deal. I don't see that anymore either. Football, baseball, or other outdoor sports like that. And I'm not talking the rec stuff or the organized system stuff that they have through your school district or through your community in the summers. I'm talking about a group of kids getting together every week or every weekend and saying, hey, let's go meet at the ball field, or let's go meet here in this field and let's play some football. We'll have to get as many people as we can. We got to round them up. So you got to spend an hour or two rounding up people in the neighborhood, and then getting together, say we're going to do this, and you can do it. You can do it with 3 people. You can do it with 15 kids. You figure it out, and that all took some sort of organization skill and some collaboration and some figuring out. And these skills are gone. They're going to be gone, absolutely, but they're gone from children nowadays. I mean, it reminds me of what's that movie? It's Sandlot.
Hamilton the Bay Porter. Long ball Porter. Come on, Nunez.
Yeah, okay. Yes, let's see this.
Yeah, give him a hockey stick. No way, man.
Whoa!
You call that pitching? He's in baseball. Not tennis. Give me the tennis racket. Give me something to hit.
All right, Em. This is my heater. I dare you to hit it.
You'll be sorry.
Want the heater? I'll give it to you.
Basketball, maybe they don't hit it. Yeah. That's how you do it, Mom.
That kind of deal, where there was a group of kids that did their own baseball games, and then they developed and learned from it and that kind of stuff, and that's what they did, type of deal. So with all these things going digital and the realness being taken away, it's you go digital, you're involved in less real things, less reality, and it's being taken away. And once it's taken away, there's going to be no more. It's not going to be common. It's not going to be, people are going to be used to it. It's going to be something that's a thing of the past, like the corded phone. But it's not the same deal, but that kind of sentiment. It's going to be a thing of the past. Just like right now, it's a thing of the past to have somebody call somebody, especially kids. No, I texted so-and-so, or he texted me back. We just texted back for a second and stuff. It's not the same as calling them and talking to them for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, for an hour. It doesn't matter. It's not the same thing. You're taking the reality of it away, because when you text something, you can stop, think about it, retype, fix, delete, edit, send it if you want. When you're talking to somebody, it's spur of the moment. It's a conversation, and that's what I feel is lacking from the children nowadays. Yes, it's a lower level because it's just been starting, for what, 10 years kind of deal, maybe 12, but it's going to be far in the past. It's going to be gone. And those are essential things I feel that are missed out. It's going to be non-existent. It's going to make for a tougher time, is my opinion. But anyways, just think of the creativity, think of the communication that's being lost. It is lost. It's going to be lost at a so much higher level. Why am I saying this? What can you do about it? I'm saying this because it bothers me, and if I end up talking with younger kids or our kids, or even nieces and nephews, that kind of stuff, I try to veer them away from electronics as much as I can and get them involved in other things, and try to provide other things for them, other ideas, and support them in those endeavors. But that's it. If other people can do the same, that'd be great, and I think it's really gonna help society as a whole. But anyways, I want to thank you for watching this. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, stay vigilant with yourself.